let's look at the active substance and the signal and the rhythm, and what makes the BEMER so unique compared to any other pulse electromagnetic device out there. Wave shapes that you see right here, those are the commonly used waves with other devices that you find out in the market. And at the base is always a sinusoidal wave, the top wave here. And with an overlay, you can overlay some of these, so many, and you can create different wave shapes. You can, for instance, create a trapezoid wave or a triangular wave, or you could create a sawtooth wave, the bottom wave right there. And the other devices utilize these types of wave shapes. They are not proprietary. We have created a wave shape that looks like this. That's called the BEMER wave. And that is really significant to know because this is patented, this wave shape. It also arises from the overlay of many sine waves, but nobody can come close because it's protected through a patent. So big difference, 40 peaks and valleys. That distinguishes the BEMER wave from any other wave out there. So let's keep that in mind. This is considered one wave. We can pack a lot of power behind this wave with very, very low intensities of an electromagnetic field. The electromagnetic field is now just induced to take on the shape of this BEMER wave. And we're delivering each component of this BEMER wave, right, these 40 peaks and valleys, at 30 hertz as well as 10 hertz along a very specific timeline. This is important to know. This was found out through trial and error research that it is now configured in a way to be delivered in this fashion, the interchanging two frequencies, 10 and 30 hertz, along a very specific timeline because it has a physiological impact. Now we're looking at the intensity. The intensity is just merely the song. You can play this song very, very low and subdued, or you can play it loud. However, still the range, when you look at it, 3.5 to 35 microtesla, that's the measurement unit for an electromagnetic field, that is still a low field. Let's look at what surrounds us naturally with the Earth. We have field strength around the Earth. The closer you're to the poles, the higher. The closer to the equator, the lesser. And that can range 40 to 65 microtesla. So you can look it up, what this field strength is in the area that you live. So utilizing a field 3.5 to 35 microtesla is really very low. And just remember, that just determines how far or how effective this BEMER wave now is in certain tissue layers. So you're just setting the volume according to how deep into the tissue layer now things are affected or benefited, meaning improving blood flow. The other thing that sets BEMER apart is the plus signal. We're just incorporating automatically when this plus signal is on that the volume is turned up to the highest possible volume for just a brief moment in time. That means we're going from the preset setting that we have chosen. Every 20 seconds, we're just increasing this volume to the highest possible volume, and then it automatically turns down. It's just a fraction of a second that it happens. So we call this the rhythm giver because there's a natural rhythm in our body that the BEMER supports in this way with this plus signal. We can demonstrate this also, how significantly more effective BEMER is through a comparison study. These were the various devices here that we were using in a study that was performed at the Institute of Microcirculation in Berlin, Germany. And all these devices were used according to the specifications of the manufacturers over the course of 3 days. There were measurements taken on the day prior to use, on the first day of use, on the second day of use, and the third day of use, as well as on the day after when none of these devices were used. And so while I cannot tell you exactly what the parameter is that we're measuring here because my hands are tied, I explained our situation with the FDA, but this is one of the graphs that represents the parameter changes possible with the use of the BEMER over the course of the 3 days, as well as the other devices, as well as on the 4th day. And you can clearly see here that on the 4th day, the other devices were basically back to 0. There is no residual effect. The BEMER effect, however, is clearly visible that we have a higher percentage change still possible than what was a competitor able to affect on their peak performance day. You can see it. All the parameters, all 4 parameters that are measurable, are showing, reflecting similar graphs. So this comparison study is available for you to look at, and I will, in a brief moment, will show you where you can find this comparison study. Quickly want to point out, we have 3 generations of BEMER. From 1998 to 2007, we had BEMER 3000, where the effect lasted about an hour. That is the device that I started with. That's the device that tremendously brought a benefit into my life for my well-being and my quality of life. In 2007, the plus signal was introduced, and now the effect lasted 3 to 4 hours. Now, since 2010, we have the BEMER Pro and the BEMER Classic. And this effect now lasts 12 to 16 hours. The benefit that you're getting from being exposed to the signal from an 8-minute application lasts between 12 to 16 hours. That is really unsurpassed. Small vessels react to this specific signal configuration. And the timeline is as well very important, and the frequency. So now we have 2 systems in place where we can observe vasomotion. One is a larger calibered portion of arterioles and venules where we have a smooth muscle contracting rhythmically, and that is superior regulated. Then we have a narrowing down into lighter calibered arterioles and venules, where we see vasomotion based on a nitric oxide gas exchange. And so both these systems do react. When this BEMER signal is delivered at 10 hertz, the larger calibered vessels will react, and at 30 hertz, the smaller calibered vessels will react. And so these 2 systems have to also be synchronized, and the synchronization of both vessel systems moving is also affected with the use of the BEMER. And by that, we push more blood into the capillary beds and move more blood out of the capillary beds. So what are the parameters of improvement in microcirculation? Here are the statistical value changes that are quantifiable, repeatable, and apply to a large random population. We have well over a million users worldwide, and it is always, as long as you have microcirculation, you will see these statistical value changes possible. The BEMER direct impact is on vasomotion, and that improves by a rate of 27%, which then increase the blood flow into the capillary beds, and that increases by up to 29%. And venous return, meaning we're taking out more of the waste that may have accumulated over months or sometimes even years, will improve by 31%. And oxygen utilization improves by 29%. And that means your body will produce more ATP, it will function better, and the ability to get back into homeostasis is enhanced. For that purpose, I want to show you a video where this is very observable. So initially, this is a 4-sequence video. Initially, you will see a very, very stuck blood flow and hardly any perfusion into the capillary. This is from a chronically stressed person. It is taken in the colon. And initially, when you are watching this video, I want you to pay attention to the left side, where we see what happens or how a clot starts forming in the capillary. And that has something to do that a capillary only can hold 1 blood cell, red blood cell at a time. And here they are so stuck, and when too many squeeze in at the same time, a clot starts forming. That's just the start of it. And then it will just keep on piling up. Now we have turned on the BEMER, and the person is now about a couple of minutes on this device, and we clearly see that the clot is gone, and blood is flowing into the capillary, while this still looks kind of stagnant here and here. That will change also within the next few minutes on the BEMER, and it is clearly visible in this next sequence. In addition, you can now also observe the role and adhesion behavior of these white blood cells. That is our police. This will keep us from invaders, from pathogens taking over our body, leading to infection. So this is a good role and adhesion behavior in our white blood cells, and this improvement can lead to dramatic health benefits for anybody to stay healthy. And this is after BEMER. This is within a 2-minute period after the application has stopped, and this is still improved, and this effect lasts 12 to 16 hours. When you look at the effect from before, or the contrast from before and after, and you imagine that in someone's problem area, well, this is certainly very poor blood flow, and this is the effect for after an 8-minute application, and it will last 12 to 16 hours. That's quite remarkable. Every cellular function in your body will depend on that. From mental clarity, our immune system functioning, sex, pain, healing, regeneration, you name it. Everything depends that these exchanges occur. And it can only occur with good vasomotion, and this is exactly where the BEMER shines. It's a singular technology that has an impact here.